flurry of activities within the political parties, the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Of course, the issue still at stake. The party intensified efforts yesterday, Wednesday, to narrow the gaps and bring in those that felt left out. So perhaps in the days to come, we'll see a full list coming from the ruling party. It appears the differences between the governors, the party, and the campaign council are being narrowed. The Labour Party also released its own presidential campaign council, 1,234 members, with Donye Okube as Director General of the campaign organization. The PDP says it is indeed going ahead with these campaigns. They say the next stop is Kaduna State, but some reports are saying that they are holding on a bit to enable reconciliation to take place. The party has denied this, saying with the campaign plans still ongoing. In Lagos, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the NMPP, commissioned the campaign office as usual. Red Cap supporters were all over the place. And in Abuja, it was the ICAN, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, that held this annual meeting, annual general meeting in the capital city. They extended invitations to the presidential candidates. Some of them came, some of them sent their running mates, some opted out completely. If you recall, the Nigerian Bar Association started it all with invitations to key presidential candidates. And of course, we have seen how other institutions, interest group members in our country have been reaching out to candidates to have some conversation and engagements with them with a view to finding out their position on certain issues. At the ICAN conference yesterday in Abuja, the PDP sent in the running mate to Atiku Abubakar, that's Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Some other candidates came. The ABGA candidate came. Showore candidate also came. The Labour Party candidate Peter Obi was on ground, but the APC candidate, not the running mate, did not show up. Quite sad. And I thought the APC candidate is an accountant. So when the body of chartered accountants, the leading body in Nigeria, ICAN, is having a national conference and extends the invitation, I see it as an opportunity for him to meet his colleagues and, of course, sell his manifestos to them. But he didn't show up and no representatives, and of course, this may not be the first time. I will wonder, is it a strategy of the APC not to engage? If you want to really govern people, you have to start engagement right from the word go. We encourage them to indeed respond to these invitations. As we go into the campaigns, more will come. So please, this is an opportunity for not just the electorate here. These are respectable institutions. The Nigerian Bar Association, you can't wish them away. You can't wish them away. There are so many of them. Please, learn how to engage them so that we can, of course, compare notes and see how the electorate could be guided even before you start your campaigns or who to vote for. Let me welcome my colleagues. Teve is joined by Abulo Semuabu. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Amechi, good morning to you. Good morning, listener. For those who had registered, I think before December, the opportunity is there for them to go and pick up their permanent voter cards. We are making a clear call now. Please go to the INEC office in the local government or the area council where you registered and see if your card should be there for you to pick up. And those who registered, I think between January 15 and July or so this year, will have to wait till next month to be able to do that. Amechi, we're in this country, or we are in this country, when promises were made about refineries, promises were made about several things that would happen if the All Progressives Congress, APC, won the election in 2015 and 2019. What did we have at the end of the day? When the president was sworn, he said, I did not make those promises. Means party members were making those promises on behalf of the party and on behalf of the candidate He disowned them. If you pick up the manifesto of the APC, you will see most of these things that party members were campaigning and talking about. Restructuring, free education, several of those things. Very beautiful piece, I would say. So, I want to believe that some of these parties are trying to get over some of this particular issue. Recall that even at our editorial board meeting, we raised the issue of the difference between the manifesto of the candidate and the political party. One issue, stalking issue at the APC meeting yesterday, was the issue of the manifesto. We are told that the running mate, Shettima, presented the manifesto to the party members, and there was a disagreement. Some are even calling it the Lagos Manifesto. You know, that is not perhaps, there are some differences with the manifesto they've come up with and that of the party. It's almost the same thing in the Labour Party. Abulu will tell you, Labour leaders have told him that what Peter Obi is moving around with in the name of manifesto does not capture the interests of workers. And when he was asked, he said yes, he has not released his manifesto because he's waiting for the input of NLC and TUC. So that is where we are. For the PDP, their candidate has a manifesto, is there. You know, whether all of them believe in it or not is a different thing. So why am I laying all this background? With the ICANN meeting, even the MBA meeting, and even the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, if Asiwaju, for instance, had gone there, and most of those things he said he would do, will not be the things that his party members that he will appoint into office will even believe in, to even work with. It also goes to show that even Peter Obi, the things that he told MBA, Lagos, he has not gone to Lagos Chamber yet. I think he has Lagos Chamber, and then the
article has gone to Lagos Chamber,
but he did not go. You know, so these are the issues. It appears, maybe, don't forget, the Electoral Act came in February. So most of them were not as prepared. I think they were hoping or thinking that the thing will still come around in December. So they had not worked out all these documents and all these papers. So it appears, maybe perhaps for Atiku, that we can hold him to what he has presented. Even Peter Obi, the production he's talking about and all of those things, do Labour people believe in it? The Labour that is assumed to be the structure that he has. So this is where we are. And I want to say that these parties, these candidates and their parties should work out this document. And we are going to hold them responsible for it. This time around, we are going to scrutinize. We'll look at what the manifesto of the party, we'll look at the manifesto of the candidate, and if there are differences, we'll raise alarm. We'll raise those issues even before the elections for Nigerians to know. We'll also raise the differences between the manifesto of the NNPP, that of Showore, Dumebi, and all of them will raise the differences between, so that Nigerians will get to understand. And I think this is what the civil society should also do at the state level now that the campaigns have started at the state. Because at the end of the day, there's this bandwagon effect. Okay, this person is popular, this party is this party is that. People do not look at what these people will come out to eventually implement or not implement with what we have with the Buhari presidency and the APC.
Emechi, good morning TV, and good morning, dear listener. Let me start with some few expressions which we are familiar with. Early to bed, early to rise. Makes a child what?
Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Then the other one says, he who laughs last, laughs best. And in my own language, you said, he who eats a very good dinner, from morning when he wakes up. Campaigns have started and there is no joking about it. And I wait to see political parties that will be dragging, starting their campaigns, because early to rise, early to bed, early to rise is not a mere expression. Amici, you have children, you know what that means. So those that have started early, putting their hearts together, starting their campaign and whatever, at the end of the day, maybe they will be favored. And those that keep folding back and saying that we want to laugh last so that we'll laugh best, I don't know what will happen at the end of the day, because you don't know the end of the road until you get there. Yesterday, we witnessed the Labour Party. I congratulate them. They surpass all other political parties with their number 1,000 plus campaign council.
Wait for the APC. By the time they bring in the other interest groups. How many is that of the PDP?
600. About
Okay,
600.
okay.
Now they surpassed APC and PDP because we know very well APC had a list that was not accepted. You know very well, 400 and something. And but my surprise yesterday was the absence of the presidential candidate and his vice. And some persons say they were attending the ICANN forum. And I asked myself, is the ICANN forum more important than your campaign council your inauguration of your campaign council? Which means I am on my own. Let the party be doing its own. That is what TV is trying to bring out about a party's manifesto and a candidate manifesto. So does it mean that as I said in March that we don't have independent candidacy or candidates, as it were. We don't have it in our constitution. The Electoral Act did not provide for independent candidates. So if you're having a manifesto, it must be rooted in the political party that produced you, because people picked form to vie for certain offices. So you are answerable to the political party. So it would be nice if political parties and candidates realign their manifesto, harmonize their manifesto, so that we will not come up and the Buhari language, according to TV, saying that it's the party, not him. So who is the party and who is you? If we want to talk about PDP today, Atiku was mentioned. If you are talking about Labour Party, Obi was mentioned. If you are talking about APC, Tinubu was mentioned. So they are as it were, they are the top of the party as it is today. So if they are having a different agenda, a different program, separate from the political party, I pity them. I pity them because we have seen it and it has happened. The president detaching himself from the from the program the party has created. I'm going forward. The president presented a budget, 2023 budget, and I'm waiting on the political parties. Only Sowore has faulted the budget. Why? Sowore is the presidential candidate of what is party again? AAC, African what? Okay.
Political science.
So why are the presidential candidates not scrutinizing this budget? Why are they not making inputs? Whether you make inputs,
should the input not go beyond budgets to the budgets are annual plans?
It's like a springboard. Whoever will take over power,
candidates are talking about mid-term and long-term plans.
Whoever will take over power in 2023, is that budget they will rely on? If they will do supplementary.
They can do supplementary if it doesn't align with their own programs and policies.
So, good. So we don't want them going about witch hunting each other. We want them to talk about issues. It's issue based, and the budget is an issue. It's a major issue, developmental issue. It's an instrument for development. So why don't you talk about it? Pick holes in it, or commend them. Even the APC itself has not even commended the budget.
Okay, well, for the release of the presidential campaign council, at least what the APC and PDP did was that the campaign councils themselves released it. The Labour Party just called a press conference to release this. In the others, the presidential candidates were not involved. But a summary of what you're saying is that what is the question we are trying to answer? What is the difference between the party and the candidate? Well, we have a presidential system of government. I always tell people that when you're going to vote on that day, let's start with nominations as a candidate. If you don't belong to a party, there's no provision yet for independent candidates. So you must belong to a political party. Without a party, whether you believe in it is another cup of tea. Yes, you can claim to believe in it before they even issue you with a membership card and cell phone to you. So without the party, there cannot be a candidate. So it tells us that the party is just like the hen and the egg. Without the hen, there will be no egg. So there's no way you talk of the egg without the hen, mother hen. So without the party, you cannot be a candidate.
Party is supreme.
Yes, they also say party is supreme. And on voting day, when you're issued with a ballot paper, you will not see the picture of any political, any candidate. Neither will you see the name of a candidate. No. What you see is the party acronym and logo on the ballot paper. 18 of them. For PDP, you see their logo, umbrella. For the
APC,
and you see PDP written.
Maize.
For the APC, you see broom.
Broom. Okay.
Which one has broom? It's broom APC. For the Labour Party, you see Mama Papa Pikin. For other parties,
for Afghan, you see a cock.
Yes, a cock. So you will not see the name of a candidate. It tells you that it is the party and not the candidate. And when you go to court to challenge issue of candidacy, a candidate can take a party to victory, like we saw in Rivers and some other place. But the court will say, at the end of the day, it's not the candidate that matters. It's the political party. That's why a party can go into an election without a candidate and win. It happened in Abuja area council and some other places. Imo North.
The election was declared. The party had no candidate.
And the APC won that seat. Yes. After it took them time to determine who their candidate is, and he came to pick up the big prize. So it tells you that it's all about the candidate. But that's in theory. In practice, like in US, you always see a situation where the White House takes a position different from the State Department, for instance, their Foreign Affairs Ministry, on issues of international relations. There have been documented cases, and the last president of the US is a typical example, Donald Trump. The State Department will not do any business with Russia, with North Korea. They see them as part of the axis of evil. But Trump was busy visiting, having meetings with the North Korean leader, and deepening relations with Russia. So it also applies to Nigeria that in practice, yes, you provided the vehicle to take the candidate to Abuja, coming from whatever part of Nigeria. Once the vehicle comes to Abuja and the passenger alights and goes into Aso Rock, that vehicle may not be as relevant, may not be as important as the passenger. Once you're sworn in as the president and commander-in-chief, you become the symbol of the entire nation.
Once you are sworn in, but
yes,
you are not
once you're
sworn
sworn in. So that's the problem. How do we manage the two? Because if it's a parliamentary cabinet system of government, you can't deviate from the party. You can't. The party, that is where the supremacy of the party is at its highest order.
That is why
you cannot. If you lose your position as prime minister when the party gives you no confidence vote. So for you to retain the confidence of your party, you must kowtow to the dictates of your party. So it's left for us to find our unique way of harmonizing these two.
That is why internal crises in political parties are as dicey as they look. That is why persons are calling on the PDP not to toy with the issues with Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. You just heard that he appointed 28,000 assistants, polling unit assistants,
very interesting,
and 14,000 advisors the other day.
Those are campaign managers.
Good.
What do you mean by campaign managers?
Let him explain.
We were here before the 2022 electoral act, where because we had the special delegate, automatic delegates, governors, once it's heading towards election, they appoint so many people who will become automatic delegates
as advisors and assistants. And by the law, by the electoral act, then they will vote.
They will vote in the party primaries and conventions, and they get what they want. But here,
the electoral act stopped that.
It stopped that completely. It has stopped
automatic delegates.
So as it is now, Wike is trying to set up. Don't forget some of his men have jumped ship. So he's trying to set up that structure that will eventually work for the candidates.
He calls some of them
whoever political party is trying to pitch his tent.
So these 28 persons will be deployed across the states. So what you're saying in effect is that on election day they will become very useful.
Not on election day. Before election day, even on election day.
They start mobilization
now.
They are called. Who is an assistant? Yes. An assistant is somebody that represents Dr. Amechi Anakwe somewhere. So they are Wike, Nyesom Wike's representative at every polling unit.
Governor Wike.
We have 28.
Governor Wike.
We have 28 polling units.
Yes, now Rivers State is not the only place. Just that it's the highest we can recall in our recent memory. 28,000. We have seen others appoint 5,000, 3,000, and
our friend
and they are paid with taxpayers' funds. Their jobs are undefined, and we know by practice, from experience, that there are people that are the structures. That's the political structure that they will guarantee the votes. Does our law allow it? For instance, at the federal level, the president can appoint special assistants and senior special assistants without recourse to the National Assembly. For ministers and special advisors, you must get confirmation from the Senate. But for these assistants, the president can announce 100,000 and new appointments and nothing happens. So there's a lacuna in our laws we need to block. Now, if that is another angle, think of what the APC did in 2015. They started social investment program. They started sharing money to Nigerians, and they were sharing this money on eve of the elections, especially the off-season election. It was the vice president that was going to different markets, sharing it and say, "Is our program, is our policy." As a government, we have decided to give poor Nigerians money. A lot of people said they were buying votes.
So trader money.
Yes, and many of them. During a governorship off-cycle elections, governorship election, a week to the election, they will go and share to that state. So there are many leakages, many weaknesses in our laws and constitution that chief executives exploit at the state level, at the federal level. That's what you call the resources of the state, the apparatus of state power. These are things that give you an advantage over the opposition that are not in government. Can we continue to sustain it, or do we work to change that?
Even if the National Assembly comes up with a law, an amendment of the Constitution, working with the state houses, I doubt if the state houses of assembly would key into that the way most of them, including my state, unfortunately, House of Assembly voted against local government autonomy. So it's a challenge that we have. We can only plead to the conscience of whoever is the governor, to the conscience of whoever is, the president. Even local, we need to even go to some local governments and see what is happening. The kind of assistance
the local government chairman are appointed.
Even the one in Amak here has, I think he has a chief press secretary or something.
No, that one should be in place.
Before now, they had, we used to have
director of
information officers. That were, we're having all sorts of things now, as it were. So it may be difficult to come through law, as it were, but we can hold the civil society, and then we'll be shafting on top of our voices.
You made mention of that is the state structure we are talking about.
Yes.
You have given hint to some of our friends on social media that are obedient, who keep saying that, you say we don't have structure. I think most of them can go and meet Peter Obi and become their assistant voluntarily, and so that
that's what they've been doing.
They can become voluntary assistant to Peter Obi and boost his structure.
So don't be surprised
if you say what Wike is doing is
don't be surprised if Ganduje, Kano State Governor, appoints 60,000 assistants. This 60, or Sanwo-Olu in Lagos will say, okay, you think you have money, 100,000 assistants. These 100,000 assistants will be spread across all the polling stations. First, they will vote there. So you're sure of 60,000 votes. And they will use their influence to also attract votes. So that's
they will have official money, democracy. They will have impress. They will have assistant. The assistant will also have assistant as well.
Nothing.
The assistant will also have an assistant.
Let's have your best now.
We raise the issue of Showore is in the African Action Congress.
AAC. Okay, let's have our mess now. Ariyo, over to you.
Thank you, Amici. Good morning and welcome.